Okay. Hello again, students. It's good to talk to you again. So, a couple of things. I know that was a lot of work going over the theory stuff. You guys did a good job presenting. A couple areas where you guys lost a few points. I noticed this with a large majority of you guys. The articles that you were supposed to post, and there was one part of the rubric where it talked about demonstrating how that theory has been used in practice. A lot of you guys just posted articles about the theory, which were great. I expected that you would be finding articles about the theory to use in your presentation to teach the rest of us about the theory. But what I was looking for are articles that actually used the theory in practice. And a couple of you guys did a really good job with this, and you both posted articles that were showed how some research had used those theories, and then you talked about that in your presentation. So if you lost points in that area, that's why. Is that it wasn't looking just for an article about the theory, it was how is the theory used in practice, because that's really an important element, is not just that there is a theory, but how can that theory be used to frame whatever it is you're studying, like your phenomenon of interest, or eventually like your DMP project or something like that. So that was one area that, you know, if you're asked to do an assignment like this in the future, just make sure that you're paying attention to that. And then the other thing is that many of you saw your grade change. And so what I decided to do in the first part of the theory presentation, I wanted to get you guys the rubric back. I wanted to give you some feedback. And I wanted to give you guys that score because I know you were waiting for it. But the other part of the grade for this long 3-week assignment was that you were interacting with your colleagues, that you were asking them questions, you were answering questions that were being asked of you. So if you saw your grade change, if it went up from your original theory presentation, that means you did an outstanding job at the discussion boards, answering people, staying engaged the last couple weeks, using articles like I asked you to do. And then if you saw your grade drop, you didn't do those things. You were not participating the last couple weeks. So these last couple weeks were not just a hiatus, just you don't have to do anything. I really wanted you guys to continue to learn about these theories, theory application, and to be able to defend your own theory. So I just wanted to explain why you may have seen some changes in your original theory grade, is because the other part, it was based on discussion boards. I spent a lot of time, I didn't comment because I did not want to influence anything, but I spent almost every day reading what you guys are posting, and I thought most of the time at the discussion boards, those of you who did a really good job, really rich discussions. I love that you were finding other articles to base your answers on, challenging each other. So you did a great job. What's going to happen next is now we are going to move into a conceptual model. Now this is in week, what are we starting, like week 9, I think. So there's a lot of articles about a conceptual model and how to develop your own conceptual model. Many of you guys, when you were posting your theories, a lot of the theories had models. And so many of you guys posted whatever the model was in your presentation. So it shouldn't be a super new concept, but there are, I'm just pulling this stuff up while we talk. It is week 9. So I posted on week 9, there's some things I want you to, some terms I want you to start thinking about: indicators, standards, guidelines, protocols, best practices, things like that. But if you click on the week 9 link, there's a lot of required readings in there that will start to tell you how to develop a model. And basically what a conceptual model is you'll take the theory and then put it in like a visual diagram, or you know, it can be anything. A couple years ago, I was teaching Introduction to Nursing to the second degree option students, and you know, we give them a little introduction about conceptual models. And one of the assignments I had to the students was develop a conceptual model of, I think it was nursing or something like that. And then the students all had to present it, and that's it, just the conceptual model. They didn't have to do all the theory, but just the model. And so I had a variety of things. One student said that nursing is like a layered salad, where you have all of these different layers, but you put them all together to have one yummy product. I thought it was, I'd never heard that before, but I thought it was creative. And so his model was a salad, and he was able to effectively defend it. Other people had, you know, triangles and circles and squares with arrows going back and forth, and they were able to defend that. So it's really a visual for your readers to understand the theory. The reason this is important, and this is what we're going to start doing this week, is now we're going to go back to your phenomenon of interest. And I want you to start thinking about your phenomenon of interest. I want you to start thinking about what theory might be good to frame your phenomenon of interest. So the last 3 weeks you were just assigned a theory to teach everybody else. But now, based on what you've learned, and I want you to start thinking about, was there a particular theory that when your peers were teaching you, were you thinking, hey, that might be a good one to frame my phenomenon of interest? So I want you to start doing that, start thinking about that, because you are going to start developing a conceptual model from your phenomenon of interest. This will be more clear as you start reading some of these articles this week. So I want you to read about how to do that. There's one good video that Dr. Burson has made, and it's called Burson Model Building. And in that theory, she's teaching you like how to build your own model. And then your assignment for this week, you're just going to start putting out your initial thoughts on your conceptual model and kind of how it's based in your phenomenon of interest. So I haven't reviewed your phenomenons of interest for a while, but let's talk about, I'm trying to think of one that one of you guys posted. One of you is doing sickle cell anemia, I think. I'm not going to be able to remember this very well. So I'll go back and review some of your phenomenon of interest, and then I'll give a better example. But I guess I can just use my own research that I've talked to you guys about. I'm doing some research on vaping and the health effects of vaping, and if there are any health effects of vaping. And so my conceptual model might look something, like it may take pieces of like policy. It might take pieces of like from the smoking data, like cigarette smoking data. It might take pieces from adolescent behavior, because I'm looking mostly at adolescents and young adults. So I would take pieces of that and form that together into some kind of a model, and then fit that within a particular theory. Cognitive theory, it would come to mind, especially because you're dealing like with developing brains and stuff like that. So that's not a super clear example. I probably should have pulled some up before I started this video. But if you have any questions, let me know. So that's what you're going to post this week. So this week, after you've done the reading, just post to the discussion board your initial ideas on what a conceptual model might look like. Within your phenomenon of interest, you need to respond to at least 2 of your colleagues. Once again, give some good feedback, get some good feedback, because then the following week you're actually going to build a model and do like a a PowerPoint slide of what your model looks like. So start doing a little bit of exploring about models, because in the next couple weeks, that's what we're going to start working on. So, and these are some things that will ultimately help you when you're going to go do your final paper in a couple weeks. So very good. We are at the halfway mark. I posted all of your midterm grades, so you should be seeing that in Titan Connect. If you guys ever run into trouble, please do not hesitate to contact me. I know this is a lot of work. I know you guys are really busy. I believe all of you guys are working and have families and lives. I know this is a lot of work. I do. I absolutely know that. So I want to be mindful. I want to be sensitive to that. If you're running it up into, some deadline issues, please just reach out to me. If you don't reach out to me, then I have to abide by, what's in the syllabus, and I can't help you. I'm super willing to work with you guys. I really want you to learn, and I understand sometimes as a graduate student, you've got to juggle that learning with all the other responsibilities that come with adult life. So let me know if you need me. I'm here, and it was good talking to you again. All right. Have a good one building your conceptual models.